When you don't know how to interpret what your body and your nervous system, your full system, your unconscious mind, your energy, your nervous system is trying to communicate to you, this is where you get pulled out of your intentionality and into what happens automatically. So if you're trying to expand, right, you were doing the intentional work to expand your capacity to grow. Your nervous system is going to do something that is familiar because that feels safe. So you might be growing in one area and then something happens to where it's pushing a little too far past that threshold. You're at capacity, you're pushing past capacity. So it's going to try to pull you back in with familiar feelings, right? If you are, so for example, I just left the store and while I'm walking around the store, I'm like, this feels like scarcity. This feels like thinking about being responsible and making the right choices, and that doesn't feel aligned. So I wonder why that's coming up. And I'm walking out like, oh shit, that's a thought. That is just a thought, just like every other thought. But what's happening is you're expanding. The last several days have been this one massive expansion, one after the other, and your system is building that capacity to feel safe enough to stay there, right? So what I'm doing intentionally is building my capacity to stick with whatever is happening. This is a big part of what I do with myself and my clients. We are building capacity. We're clearing out emotion that is stuck there in your body and allowing your system to recalibrate, right? And what's just happened is I'm moving past capacity, I'm expanding, I'm building. So what happens? My system is trying to pull me back into something that's familiar, even if it's uncomfortable. But this time it didn't feel necessarily uncomfortable. I clocked it. I said, what are you doing? I don't feel aligned with that anymore. So what my system is doing is, even though it seems like it's relevant, it's not about money. It's a familiar thought staying in scarcity. It's a familiar thought coming back from that expansion. Come back here. But you don't have to choose that. That's a whole new level of that's a whole new level of, oh, that's just a thought. You don't have to choose that. Like, the more that you learn how to communicate with your body, interpret the signals, the more you're able to stay in intentionality instead of reverting to what's happening automatically because your system is used to it.